All right, are you ready to learn how one agency grew a cabinet company 15 times over the course of 2 years and is on their track to get well over a million for the first time, as well as how to grow a condiment company, a 100-year-old condiment company, and what he did and the content he created and his secret salad dressing recipe? Nico, thank you so much for joining us on the Garlic Marketing Show.
Very nice to be here. Thank you so much. It's an honor.
And before we get started, of course, it's brought to you by videocasestory.com. One of the best pieces of content out there are your customer stories. Go to videocasestory.com to learn how to collect, craft, and deliver, and 50 ways to grow your business using video case stories. All right, let's get to it. Tell us real quick a little bit about your agency and what you do.
Yeah, so I founded the Gorilla Agency. It'll be 7 years in May, so next month. It's wild. It kind of started out of necessity, came out of school, couldn't get a job offer out of the advertising school at U of O, and about a year or two in, working in a small company, decided to do it all myself, brought an employee with me, which really let me be hands-on at the forefront of the small business community and try to find unique, innovative ways to grow people's revenue. And that's what led us to today is that, we're really a revenue focused company. We use our marketing tactics to reach those goals. And that's what we really try to focus on for people is, really change their life.
Nice. And out of Portland, Oregon, and you work with clients all around. You're talking about like all different types of clients. You like blue collar, hardworking contractor types. And so you came across this cabinetry maker. Tell us about how you grew them that much.
Yeah, it was wild. They actually accidentally called us, ended up talking for 2 hours. It was we still work with them today. It's a husband and wife team. She's an amazing designer, interior decorator. He's a great contractor, and they were looking to get into RTA cabinets, so ready to assemble. They were on the coast, hyper local. But really, they were doing about $50,000 a year when they first started. So we kind of looked at it through the lens of what the coast really meant, where the money was going, what type of renovations, what everybody in the industry was doing, the competitive research. And we really only found that like California closets was maybe the only people really kind of getting into this, but they're so big and quite frankly expensive. There's no personal touch that we were like, we're going to do the opposite. So from start to finish, we did their logo, we built the website, we wrote the copy, we helped create the process. We wanted to create literally a 1, 2, 3 process where you could draw your laundry room, your bedroom cabinets, your whatever you needed on a piece of paper. Because look, I can design. You show me a CAD software, I'll lose my mind. I can't figure it out, right? But I can do some measurements with the tape measure and whatever. So really that was the process we created was here's how you measure, take some estimates, figure it out, shoot it in. Immediately you get a free design consultation. We'll show you the CAD mock-ups of what it could look like. We'll connect you with the contractors. We'll build them out. We'll provide the installer start to finish. And it was incredible. And this was with no marketing at the beginning. In the first year, they went from $43,700 to I think it was $266,000 at the end of 2020, which just immediately to us, we were like, let's reinvest, let's get some exponential growth. Let's start creating now little revenue streams that are, consistent, reliable, dependable, something we can kind of start building our future on. So we went right into doing an ad campaign and an SEO campaign. Again, kept it all hyper local with the idea of, let's just dominate the coast. There's not that much search volume. So let's get the Google listing just blown up so that any search, any keyword related to them, they're going to pop up. On top of that, what I like to do is kind of, dominate the fold, if you will. So I want to have that top ad space. I want to have the map pack. I want to have an organic listing. And if I can get 2 of them in there, even better. Plus, I want to keep them at the forefront, of saying like, look, this is who we are. This is our story. You're going to talk to the people doing the work. You can come and visit our showroom. You can meet us in person. That personal touch of, when everything else goes, bigger and bigger and bigger, it's AI driven. It's, I always liken it to the telephone game on the robocalls, dial this, dial that. It's like the only way for a small business to succeed is to put themselves out there, get on the phone, talk to people, meet in person, meet virtually, do it all there. And, by spending, I mean, even it was like on ads, I think we were doing a $500 spend a month just to see. I got their numbers about a week ago, $730,000 at the end of 2021. And I just was like, I immediately called them and was just so happy for them because it's just amazing. In fact, we were joking that, already in 22, they're on track to do $1 million. And it's just incredible, and so it's my favorite story, just given that like there's such great people too. Like it couldn't have happened to better people, but don't get me wrong, the numbers themselves are great to see as well. So.
And when you were, looking at the Google Map Pack, because you said ads, obviously, we did an ad spend, you found identified keywords, and then you were looking at the Map Pack, and I like that three-way strategy. Like you want to dominate the whole, at least the top part, if not the whole first page. So what were you doing to get like that expansive geography with the maps?
Yeah, so what we were really doing was bridging the web design, how we were kind of positioning the meta information on there. And then we were using a lot of, custom schema tags inside of the pages and what we were doing with Google to really kind of drive relevancy. Because those keywords, I mean, anything related to cabinets, I mean, your spend is just going to go up and up and up, especially in, the contractor professional services realm. I mean, I've seen keywords up to $40 a click, so it's tough to make an inroad with a small business because it's like, you're pretty much telling them like, hey, at a minimum, I'm going to need $3,000 just to like get a couple clicks a day. And so, when we started looking at all the cities and really taking the totality of them all, we were like, okay, well, let's start building out these different inside pages, that might not be visible to the public, but we'll do them on the back end and then just start flooding Google with just relevant content that was related to what they were doing, provide those schema tags, do the right meta tags, make sure that correlated to what we were doing on our ad spend. And, quite frankly, something I see all the time is like, no matter what ads I run, I always will do a branded campaign. They're dirt cheap. You can get them for a couple bucks a click. You guarantee that someone types your name into Google, you're getting the click. And universally, I mean, they convert better than most ads and they're cheap, And so that was kind of the goal, was like, how do we dominate the fold as long and, as we possibly can, given the budget, prove the concept to them that this was the right strategy. And now going into phase 3, like, really we're looking at, they're almost maxed out. How do we get more people? How do we get more designers? How do we bridge out into different cities? And it's a great issue and a great kind of, problem solving thing to get into, because it's like, making that first million is the toughest. After that, it's more of a process game. And that's kind of where our business coaching kind of starts to play into it. Is cool. Now let's start mapping out the next year and the next year and the next year and just keep, creating those little winnable goals each week so that we're staying on track.
Love it. Love it. That's fantastic. I mean, that's phenomenal growth. As you're doing that, you talked about business coaching. Why is business coaching important as you're looking at marketing?
During COVID, we had so much time, and I was just like, one of the things I kept hitting myself over the head is I don't want this time to be wasted. I really want to look at this as something of, how do I provide value for people just from being the best version of a marketer? And so when I started going through all the different instances of working with clients from start to finish, the different ways in which we were doing things, it kept coming up with this glaring issue is that people kept coming to me for a website or for leads. It was the same questions, same problems, but they were it's kind of like going to a doctor and saying, I have a broken knee, but it's like, I need to look at it. I need to look at the business. And I can provide the most amount of leads possible, but if your foundation isn't set up, if your conversion rates aren't good, you don't have good sales guys, then I'm really not being that effective. If your messaging is not on point, you have no analytics. I can't tell you how many times I get a website and there's no analytics installed. So then I took about 8 months went into a business coaching kind of program and really just dove in and started actually getting into every tactic: referrals, drip campaigns, emails, landing pages, new website design concepts. I kind of re-educated myself, and tried to think forward what people really need. And what I found was that it's all like most business owners. We need someone to talk to. No one gives a crap what I have to say about business and stuff, when it comes to my own personal stuff, trying to grow. And my wife cares as much as she cares. But at the end of the day, we need answers to our questions. We need to bounce ideas off. We need to figure out if this will work, if it won't. What's your experience with that? And I found that by able to provide that for my customers, which is one thing that I found that they liked the most, was just coming into the office and sitting with me. Well, how can I put that into a marketing plan? And I was like, well, instead of being so design or leads or whatever focus, like, let's just keep it simple. How much do you want to grow your business? 30%, 40%, 50%? Let's map it out and we'll work backwards. Here's how many leads you need. Here's how many you need to convert. Here's what they're worth. Here's how many you need each month, each week. And here's the systems that we got to build up to get there. And I just found that it was really effective because now people have full control of their business. I mean, the amount of times I ask someone like, hey, when's the last time you looked at your P&L statements? It's funny if you get those responses, right? Because even coming from me, it's like, I don't know, maybe every quarter when my bookkeeper gives them to me, but we really don't look at that. And then you ask them, did your costs go up? Did your gas, your insurance, especially nowadays? Yes. Every cost goes up. I'm like, do you increase your prices? They say no. Oh, so you're losing money, right? And people don't realize, you make 3-5% adjustments in 4, 5, 6 different areas over the course of a year. It's significant exponential growth, especially areas that you never touch. I mean, we're talking maybe an extra 2 leads, reduce your cost by 5%. That's just a phone call. And since they haven't touched it in so long, it just has these sizable impacts for their business that, we kind of joke, it's like, it can change zip codes.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And I mean, that's fantastic that you did that. And obviously, and you got these amazing results. So tell me, you also have a food story too, correct?
Yeah, it's one of those that, I'm really proud about because, I came out of college and didn't want to work for the family. My family's been in horseradish and mustard for over 100 years. Great grandma came over from Italy, spoke no English, started a business in Oregon, created a farm, and really took it to becoming, I think, the 3rd largest national condiment company in the country. And I really wanted to help tell that story of just like being proud of the roots and, the female immigrant who came and created this, not only her, but then my grandpa taking it over. But with family, it's always a tough story to tell, and so I really wanted to be a devil in the details and kind of showcase what we do as a business. So, it was a full e-commerce business. We're talking 150 plus different products. Now, these are products that are $3.89. So each has their own weight to it. So we had shipping issues that we had to knock out so that we can make it affordable to even buy a jar of mustard online, right? Why not just go to the store? So we played, to the idea of, not every one of these products is in the store. So try out all these flavors. So then from there, it was, working with my wife and having fun. And we just wrote down all these recipes, which is way harder than I anticipated it to be, by the way. Because I can do recipes, I cook all the time, but like a quarter cup of this, a teaspoon of that, that's tough. But every recipe on the site did by hand. Worked with our photographer and videographer to do the photo sets, to do the videos, to get the assets to build out the site. And then, the thing that I had a lot of fun with was just the timeline, building that out with, I went and grabbed my family history books that have letters to French's Mustard and handwritten things and just all these stories in all black and white. And I hand scanned them, typed out the story chronologically, which was probably this is like a 30-hour potentially job that we were doing that I had it all laid out on my floor of, how do you tell the story, right? And something we were just really proud of because, anybody that wanted to come there and learn a little bit about, where they were and where they came, you could just dive right into it.
What's the website?
It's just beavertonfoods.com. There's so many amazing little stories, the one where my grandpa talks about, being the first to really bottle Chinese hot mustard because he's sitting at a Chinese restaurant one day watching them make it by hand every single day. And he's like, how can I do this in a jar for you? And then researches it, goes and figures it out, and we just wanted to kind of tell that American story, be really proud of it. If you go to the timeline up there, the history, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about and how we did it all and just kind of kept it fun. At the end of the day, it's mustard, it's horseradish, it is what it is.
Two of my favorite condiments. I love both those.
I know,
So.
well, and really, I think the key is a marketing perspective is everybody knows what you do with mustard, right? You put it on a sandwich, but how do I elevate that to showcase what I do with it personally? And then what I think that it's really meant to be for is a flavor enhancer. So the recipes aren't, just putting something on. One of my favorites is there's one where, because everybody likes a chicken sandwich. So we actually showed that, if you take the sauce and you add a little bit of something to it, you can make it more liquefied, make it actually more of a dipping sauce. How do you use it as a salad dressing? How do you use it? One of my favorite things with horseradish, again, coming from, growing up and being 15 years old, working on the line, grinding horseradish, you can make a lot of great sauces out of it. And, it's actually a really fun condiment to work with. And so just telling that story, it was just, it was really fun and, doing the barbecue and, working with a photographer on how you design it and, all that kind of stuff. So we just didn't want to use stock. I was so sick of using stock images and, we finally made the investment and just went all in on it.
Yeah, you got it. And these are awesome looking recipes. And if you're listening to this podcast, you got to go watch it on YouTube because we're looking through some of these recipes and the website. You did a great job on it. And quick question, is the Chinese hot mustard still available? I'm not seeing it here.
It is. Yeah. They're, like everybody dealing with supply chain and everything. So if you look at products, it would be probably a Beaver brand product, 4-ounce glass, most likely. It's actually one of the more, the thing that's, really interesting about them is that, so every year they go to the pretty much the horseradish championship or the mustard championships. And they have won more gold medals at the mustard championship than all other mustard companies combined, including a James Beard Award, as well as, and I was there for this, it was a really proud moment. My grandpa got inducted to the National Mustard Hall of Fame.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, and he's 94 years old, goes to work every single day, and can still put up good golf numbers too. Still out there.
That is fantastic. And man, mustard is one of my favorites. And Chinese, like the Chinese mustard, it's hard to find a good one. I've never tried this one. I'm ordering it right now.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. And I mean, there's stuff, they try to always stay on trend and, man, if you like spicy, that ghost pepper mustard will blow the lid off. I'm an extra hot fan, but I mean, they just got a flavor for everything. Their tartar sauce, I'll tell you though, by far is the greatest sauce I think they've ever created. And universally the number one seller online is their tartar sauce. It is just, you'll never get another one. All my clients I talk to are like, the tartar sauce. So I always try to bring them a few jars of something, it's I love going there because you just watch them all working on everyone in the family's worked on the line before. So mixing mustard and putting caps on bottles. But, I always wanted to kind of be on the outside and help, doing things that I thought I was good at, which wasn't making mustard.
That's something we have in common because my grandmother used to make kosher beef horseradish and jar it herself. And I'd have to grind that when I was a kid. And it's delicious stuff. And I'm like looking at this website and I'm so hungry now. These are like all my favorite things in the world. I'm like, I wasn't expecting this and I didn't, this is fantastic.
Well, and with horseradish too, I mean, you think cutting an onion is bad? Oh my, geez. We're getting bins of fresh grated stuff. So you bang on the drum and the guy's pouring the fresh roots down and I got to get, 5-6 lids of those over to the guy. In fact, when I was working there, the guys used to make fun of me because the first time, I'm coming back from college or whatever, I'm the guy with the goggles on because your eyeballs are just, they're burning
Burn.
out. And they're all making fun of me and stuff. So, now I'm doing it with my eyes closed, looking away because I don't want to get made fun of. And, but that stuff is spicy.
Yeah, oh man, I'm ordering all of that today. Uh, my wife's gonna love me because we have like 8,000 condiments. I love condiments, and
Hey, if your fridge isn't stacked with condiments, man, I mean, I'm the worst. Trust me. It's all, and they're all like, they got that much left too. You're just like, I'm not
yeah,
ready to get rid of it. You never know.
no, 'cause
But
you never know. That's
so what I
fantastic.
do is like open the lid, pour a little olive oil and vinegar in it, shake it up, salad dressing every time works great.
Oh,
Tricks of the
so
trade.
yeah, I mean, this is like my first cooking. I've had the Garlic Marketing Show 400 plus episodes. It's like my first cooking
With
class
that last
piece.
name,
I know. I should make that a requirement. In fact, I might now. This might be the first one. It's like you have to bring your best cooking trick to the show.
oh man, I love it. And it's just that's what's fun about it is, I think people overcomplicate marketing so much, and at the end of the day, we're all consumers. What do we want to see? What do you want to see? What do you do? Because, really every problem or, thing that people are searching for requires about answering about three questions. And if you can figure that out and do it
Yep.
fun, you're already better than most people because everyone's chasing the shiny object of do this, do this, do this, do this, when most people don't do the little things right. And we're kind of a company built on, doing the little things right from the beginning and building a solid foundation and, really helping a business grow and not just, setting up an ad campaign and letting it run and then, spiking the football at the end of the day. It's like,
Yeah.
I want people to hire more and do more and, really feel walking away from working with us that they got true value, and that's the thing that, I try to strive for the most is what is true value, and really,
Yeah.
that's why I'm always at the forefront of it. What I say is what I say. You talk to me, I'm doing the work with my team, but I'm also accountable to what I'm saying too. So I'm not passing you down to some other person that, is passing you to somebody else and down to somebody else. It's if I say these things, we're going to get there one way or another, even if I got to work overtime to get it because I'm putting my name on the line for it.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's awesome that you do. I mean, content. You say it's the little things, but like you're talking about is the fundamentals. It's not the little things. It's the fundamentals, and people skip over the fundamentals so much.
So
And
much.
then,
I mean,
yeah, because it's not sexy, right? But you can make it
no,
sexy if you care.
and if you just show them too, I mean, that's why I have, I use software to show people's revenue. And I say, look what happens if we did a referral campaign, because that doesn't sound all that great, but like if you got one extra person, look what happens. Can you do 10?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So then look at the numbers. And then you go into this area, you go into this area. And it's like, but I always found that, and I think maybe this is probably the biggest point of my business is that, and I push this on everybody I work with, is that, I live by the golden rule. So you should always treat others how you want to be treated. Every customer you work with, talk to, do anything with is a referral, is a marketer for
Hmm.
you. And if you're not working like you want a 5-star review, then what the hell are you doing? Because there's
Yeah.
a million people out there willing to take your money to provide this, to do that. And, if you're not willing to do everything it takes to make your customers happy and excited and do everything that you said you're going to do, then I can never be the best for you, and quite
Yep.
frankly, it's, those are the little things, communication, how many times you hear horror stories of, oh, I emailed them for a quote, but they never got back to me, or it took 4 weeks or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, to me, it's no excuse. So,
No.
do those things right, lay down the fundamentals. And then when it comes to leads, that just becomes an equation, really. It's not all that difficult. But all the other stuff, like you said, it's the unpretty that people miss. And how do you maximize time and money to grow your business? And, a lot of times people just don't take a step back and look at their business with clear eyes and a unique point of view and just say like, yeah, we got to rebuild this foundation or we're going to just have a house of cards that's built on ad money. And once the ad money's done, what happens? Because you can build all the sites in the world. If you don't have traffic, no one's going to see
Yep.
it,
Yep.
And so but it makes it fun. You know, you make a really big impact for people that are really willing to commit, you know, on their side of things too. So it's definitely a mutual relationship where we lay out our homework items for them, what we think they should spend their time on, and then what we think they should spend their money on is kind of where we come in and go from there.
I love it. I love it. So, Nico, what's the best way to get in touch with your agency?
Yeah, just, you know, online, fill out a form, give us a call. Everything's ported into my phone right now. So, I mean, really, it's pretty simple. Um, yeah, I like to keep it as simple as possible. So, gorillaAgency.com, Nicholas at Gorilla Agency. Please call me Nico. That's always been, mom made that hard for me growing up. So, I'm pretty accessible. Anybody can find me.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks, Nico, so much for sharing your stories on the Garlic Marketing Show.
I really appreciate it. It's an honor to be here, and you know, just being a small company in Oregon, you know, it's always great to meet people around the country and share perspective. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and speak with you.
It's our pleasure. And thank you all for paying attention, taking us on your journey. Make sure to tell Nico what you learned. And also, if you start making salad dressing out of your condiments, let him know. But
Please.
thank you all again. This has been Nico and Iron Garlic here on the Garlic Marketing Show.